Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What? Okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
Hey everyone, welcome to the Smacked Raw podcast, the exclusive recap show for WrestlingNewsWorld.com, also found at youtube.com/SmackDown podcast and everywhere else your podcast can be listened to. Thank you for joining us for the SmackDown recap edition. I am your host, Kyle Tyson, joined by two of my favorite people on the show tonight, Mr. Vince Delgado, SES Vince, and then TC joining us from Young Kings Wrestling. What is up, fellas?
What's going on, man? Crazy ending to SmackDown. I needed somebody to talk to about this besides my guys in the group chat.
Right.
So I had to hit y'all up, man.
Hey, man, thank you. We appreciate having you on the show. You guys, if you're new to the show, we are partnering. If you're watching live, we're partnering with the Standing Streamer. It's Twitch channel. That's where you can find us live most nights. Otherwise, Vince's NXT show, you can always find over at our Twitch channel at the SmackDown podcast. So always check us out there. Wrestling News World, make that your website for all your wrestling news. And we also have a Patreon. Take a look at this. Okay, Vince, what do you get for the DDT tier on our Patreon?
The DDT tier, you get everything from the Rest Hold tier, but you also get an amazing sticker pack, which
There
you've
it is,
worked
folks.
great work on.
Thank you. I worked hard on this shit. Yeah, the DDT tier, you're going to go ahead and get a sticker pack sent out to you. You'll get a Patreon shout out, and you will get early access to all our pre-recorded YouTube videos. Check that out. And if you're feeling extra generous, bump that up to the Top Rope Spanish Fly tier. You can go ahead, submit video questions and video unpopular opinions. We'll read that shit out on air. Just forewarn you, though, I hope you have thick skin if you're giving us your unpopular opinions, because they will be quick to tell you if that opinion is trash.
Right.
Yeah, so go check us out, patreon.com /SmackDown podcast. All right, you guys, let's get into SmackDown. Come on now, that's what we're all here for. In a nutshell, how was it?
It's trending upwards. It's going to my theory that WWE just puts out shitty content in the summer. Well, pretty much any TV show puts out shitty content in the summer, but I watch wrestling more than anything else. And so it's more noticeable. I've been watching wrestling for about 20-something years now, and it's probably been like 3 or 4 good summers in that whole time. And so going into SummerSlam, it's trending upwards. You know, it was a really action-packed show. It was dope.
Hell yeah. I don't know, man. I felt like it had a strong beginning and a strong ending. I was kind of lost in the middle.
There's some things on the show I did not like, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But it was better than it has been in the last month or so, and I got to give them props for that.
Okay. Hey, look, man, I won't fight with you on that. Now, granted, I did miss the opening segment. I saw it. Was it SmackDown open with a Firefly Funhouse?
Yes, it is.
Kind of. They did the little intros that they've been doing the past few weeks where all the guys just kind of basically previewing what's going on the show. So we got Big E, The Miz, and then there was a Funhouse, typical Bray Wyatt Fiend type things where he hints at something he's going to do later on in the show.
Okay. What was the message that was delivered, Vince?
Basically saying that nobody's safe. It was very vague that nobody was safe, and that he wants his shot, his turn against Braun, and Braun has something that he wants. Referring to the Fiend and the title.
Got you. Okay, okay, I'm getting in. So where I tuned in was the AJ Styles versus Grand Metalik match. Were any of you really into this match? I have a hard time investing in a match where the outcome is extremely obvious.
Yes and no.
Is that you just the join the Dark Order sign right there for you, Vince?
No, that's me raising my hand saying I fucking love that match and I enjoyed it.
It was good. I liked it. Even though I knew AJ Styles wasn't going to lose a belt there. It's kind of no different from John Cena's Open Challenge that he did with the U.S. title, where like you knew he wasn't losing to Neville, he wasn't losing to Sami Zayn, but he still put on really good matches. I will say this though, my expectations for the match were higher than the quality of the match, but it wasn't a bad match. It was still good. It just I thought it was going to be better. But they did what they did, and AJ Styles ended up laying out the Lucha House Party. Yeah. Which is
I felt bad for it, man. Like,
which is like you take like the rumors of what we know about AJ Styles and his like affiliations politically, and just like he's laying out two Mexicans. It's kind of like,
yeah, yeah, man, for sure. But honestly, for me, like I enjoyed the match for what it was. I knew that going into it, like you were mentioning, TC, that Mental League versus AJ Styles, no brainer. AJ Styles isn't going to drop to one half of the Lucha House Party when they can't even get the tag titles as a collective unit. But I know this guy can go in the ring. I knew this was going to be good. And the story for me that was kind of told was initially Mental League was basically like hammered by AJ Styles, but as the match wore down, he was getting to AJ's level, and AJ's like, oh shit, this guy can go in the ring, even though at no point did we think he was actually going to lose. He won with the calf crusher, so that's how you know that was a dominant win for him whenever he busts that out. He doesn't use it all that often, but when he does, it's special.
Yeah, man, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Like I said, I have a hard time, like, because all I'm thinking about is like, when's the next story? Where is this going to go afterwards? And I hate to say it, it's just it takes me out of it, unfortunately. But I can see where it was a fun match. It really was. I'm just excited to see where AJ Styles is going with that Intercontinental Championship, because later on we got a peek where the Lucha House Party's going. I don't know. I don't know. Backstage, Baron Corbin's trying to coax Shorty G. Hey, for a King's Ransom, really quick, TC, how much is a King's Ransom for?
Baron Corbin's King Ransom, probably some steaks, probably some, some grill equipment, a little bit of gold thrown in there,
Right.
If you had to monetize it, you think you break $1,000?
No.
Highly doubtful.
Which will actually make it interesting. Like, let somebody collect it.
Man. Someone, hey, look, I mean, King's Ransom's nice, man, but what are you really offering?
Right. I think, like, at the end of it, where, like, somebody actually goes through with it, which it may look like it would be Chad Gable who's going to go through with it, finds out that he gets shorted at the end of it, and he just, like, goes off and whoops Corbin's ass. I'd be interested in seeing
Did Corbin refer to him as Chad?
Yeah, he referred to him as Chad. Hopefully, here, look, fingers crossed, when I saw this whole thing and I heard him say Chad, my hopes were high that he might turn heel, align himself with Baron Corbin. He creates his own, like, King's Court type faction, and he finally gets his full name back. Yeah. If that's what it takes for Chad Gable to be called Chad Gable and stop being called Shorty G, I don't care what it takes. I'm all for it.
Hey, that's cool. We have another SRP member in the chat. At Mr. 8984RN is in the chat. Thank you for coming into the chat, RN. He's asking, is Grumpy Kyle on the show? I'm not really that grumpy tonight, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'll see if I can get there with something, but I don't know, man. This is an alright show. What else we got going on? So we cut back to a recap of Jeff Hardy winning the barroom brawl or whatever, and his ass is celebrating in the back with Mr. Money in the Bank Otis. That is what Otis has been reduced to currently at this point in the show. Your Money in the Bank winner is helping another mid-carder just celebrate his victory, I guess. I don't know, man. It struck me the wrong way. Otis is the wrong person to be hoisting you up, Jeff.
Hey, hold on
can
real
I be
quick,
honest?
man. We had a Hall of Famer back there too. Devon Dudley was celebrating as well.
I
Put
didn't
some
even see
respect on
Devon.
my guys.
No, I noticed Devon in there for a second there. I thought Bully Ray was there too, but no, it was just Devon. It was just some other like fat guy back there that looked like Bully Ray. But no, look, honestly, I completely forgot that Otis was Mr. Money.
Like that's a thing, right?
Yeah, it's. I forgot that was his thing. Like his big storyline beat is that he's Mandy Rose's boyfriend, but that hasn't led to anything in ring.
Yo, the chat's going off saying testify. I like that. All right. Yeah, we got Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy comes out. His whole thing is he's overcome his demons. He's going to continue to fight, keep the fans up. It's the same bland shit. And for the first time, I agreed with Baron Corbin. When Corbin's like, dude, we don't want to hear this no more. Like, and I'm happy for Jeff. I'm happy he's going to be a beacon of inspiration for people struggling. But, dude, I don't want that to be his character depth. So I'm hoping we get away from this. And this is just not a week in, week out, heavily played thing. I don't mind hinting towards it. Subtly, though. Like, over on AEW, you had Hangman Page pour a shot for Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson didn't make a big deal about it. He just poured it in one of the FTR members' glasses and just kept it rolling, you know? It's got to be subtle, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Huh?
I didn't even think about that during that segment.
Yeah. Arn was like, oh, maybe in my younger days, and he just poured it over into, like, Dax's glass. And they just kept it rolling. It was nice. It was a nice touch. I noticed that shit. But,
I got a direction Jeff Hardy can go in, but
let's hear it.
Remind me to bring it up later.
Oh, okay.
Don't want to talk about it right now.
Got you. Well, yeah, Hardy's interrupted by Corbin, who comes out. Corbin doesn't really say much. It's just he's tired of hearing about Jeff Hardy. He would have invited him for the King's ransom, but he knew Jeff would turn him down. A lot of just hot air, in my opinion. I don't think there was anything of substance.
No.
Gulak comes out, attacks Corbin, gets into this Drew Gulak King Corbin match that we got, which was decent, but fuck, man. So I'm a fan of Gulak, and when you can't pick up a win, even with a distraction, you know you ain't going nowhere fast, man.
You ain't going far, man.
You ain't going far, man. Matt Riddle comes out during this match. Towards the end, Gulak's been getting his ass beat. Gulak fails to get the roll up, and then just like it wasn't even like this. The end of days was out of nowhere. It was like Gulak waited to get put in it, man. That's the other thing. It was hot garbage. I just feel bad for Gulak. The match was fine. I'm more personally hurt because I'm a fan of Gulak, and seeing him just getting nothing done. And do you think Gulak would be in a better spot if Daniel Bryan wasn't staying home? Would we still have that coach-student dynamic going on between the two?
I think they'd be in a tag team division right now, going up against Nakamura and Cesaro, honestly. But they can't really do that right now.
Yeah. So unfortunately, due to Daniel Bryan, respectfully, understandably staying home, it has a negative impact on Gulak, in my opinion. I think that's
which kind of sucks because I don't really know what else they can do with Gulak. Like the thing with Daniel Bryan that he was doing, it was great. It was great for him. It was finally some direction that he hasn't really had since he was cruiserweight champion last year. So it's kind of bad news for him. Hopefully they can find something for him after SummerSlam. Maybe get him back in the Intercontinental title picture. They got a lot of mid-carders on SmackDown. Like I think that's one aspect of the show we kind of overlook is that they got a lot of guys in that mid-card that can go for that Intercontinental Championship. A lot of them can go for the world title, but yeah, with Gulak, I don't really know what else they can do with him.
What's funny to me, and correct me if you guys think differently, but I feel like Raw has a bunch of guys that could fight for the world title, but not enough people that could fight for the mid card because they're always like under mid card guys. And then SmackDown has a slew of guys that are heavy on the mid card, but aren't very top of the card heavy, especially now that Roman and Daniel are gone.
Yeah.
I feel
besides like maybe Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, can't really think of many other guys over there that can get in that world title picture.
No, not for sure. I mean, there's another guy. He's making his singles debut this week on SmackDown. Yeah, so I have some hopes
hop into Biggie. Biggie's fucking terrific, barrel rolling, goddamn down the ramp. Come on, man. The throw in the jacket at Corey Graves. His entrance is just as good as his fucking matches, man. I love it. By the way, how did he introduce himself? I missed that part.
The usual same.
8-time world tag champs.
Like one half of the tag champs. Okay, I wasn't sure if he was gonna mix it up now that he's gonna be a singles run. Wasn't sure if he was gonna like call his
Might
shot
have been pre-recorded.
He wants to go after or something.
I think he's the guy, especially after his match with The Miz. Also, shout out to The Miz. He had a really good match with Biggie. A lot of people forget that Miz can actually go in the ring, and they just assume that he's not a good in-ring guy, but he is. He's worked on that.
One of my favorite developments over the last, probably since the Talking Smack promo, is that people are starting to respect The Miz a lot more, because I've been a Miz guy since day one, since like hosting the Diva Search. Like, no, not even that. Tough Enough. Like, that was my guy during Tough Enough. That's who I wanted to win.
He's who I wanted to win Tough Enough when I was watching it back in 2004. But I turned on Miz because I blamed him for CM Punk never having that main event match at WrestleMania. I'm like, fuck you, Miz. You're the reason Punk never got that match. And
why was it Miz's fault?
He has a main event win at WrestleMania over John Cena, and he came out to Nas. Like, put some respect on Mike.
I mean, I respect him now, but back in the day, CM Punk was my guy. He had just left. I was very salty about the situation. I was petty. I was bitter. I acknowledge that at this point, but respect and props to The Miz, man. He had a really solid match, and honestly, Biggie, like right here, especially busting out the stretch muffler to win the match via submission, fucking dope. I think he's gonna be the guy that faces AJ for the IC title at SummerSlam. I think he's the guy.
That'd be a good direction to go in, because I think a lot of us forget about his first IC title reign. It was very forgettable. So this one, they can write that, correct that passage.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also the public opinion on Biggie. I mean, what do you guys think in the chat, man? What are y'all thinking about Biggie? Like, he's, in my opinion, he's the shit. I just want to see that him go into that intense mode again, like that we only saw back at the Hell in the Cell match with them and the Usos, when the smile left his face and he just turned into a monster. He was absolutely terrifying, man. I want to see that again.
Did you hear the Booker T comments? Did you want to talk about him at all?
Booker T comments?
Yeah, so he basically, again, he had some other comments, this time talking about Big E, saying that he's not going to be able to be a top singles guy unless he drops the goofy New Day stuff. He needs to get a new theme song.
It's the same fucking argument we had last year with Kofi. And exactly.
And Kofi won, and he was a really good champion for 6 months.
And it was just have to drop what he was doing. Like, I was having a conversation earlier with somebody, and it was like, Big E doesn't need to drop the stuff that made them popular in the first place, because I don't think that's really productive at all. It's very counterproductive.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, personally, Kyle, like, yes, you want him to be a little bit more serious in the ring, but do you really want him to drop like the New Day stuff outside of the ring? Because you just said that's like that's just as good as his in-ring stuff, like his character stuff outside of it. Because that's
his in-ring shit. I don't care about his antics out of the ring. I'm saying you don't have to have him change his persona. You could literally have a match like when Randy Orton was yelling at Kofi and slapping him. Have that disrespectful match that just slaps the fun out of him. And then he turn it on in the ring. It can be a special thing. It doesn't have to be a complete persona change. But at some point, people have to realize how fucking terrifying this guy can be. That's the thing, is like, he doesn't have to change and just be a monster 24/7, but he's gonna have to check somebody at some point.
Oh, I think he will.
I think it's stupid that he needs to come from behind facing the Miz. You know, granted, you had Morrison in there trying to shake things up, but Big E is a beast, dude. He's a fucking beast. He's built for suplexing people. The way that man is built, he could suplex the shit out of anybody. And you're telling me that he had to get a come from behind victory against the Miz? I find fucking stupid, man. He shouldn't have that. I get the story. He's used to being a tag team partner and relying on somebody else, man. But At some day, you need to acknowledge
I don't think
this
it was
dude is physically superior.
I don't think it was more or less that. It was the fact that he's always been a tag team guy this whole time, and he has to rediscover him being a singles guy because it wasn't until NXT, because even his like singles run in WWE, it was lackluster. It wasn't until he joined.
He was a lackey.
Yeah, he was just a lackey kind of guy.
Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee's lackey. Like,
so we never saw that dominant Big E unless you were watching NXT back in the day on Hulu, like for 1 hour every fucking like Sunday afternoon or whenever it was. So you didn't really get to see that side of it. And I think it wasn't more or less that he couldn't be a singles guy. It's more or less he's got to like remember, hey, this is all on me. I don't got a tag team guy here. And yeah, you're right. He shouldn't have to struggle with The Miz, but the match was really, really good. And
I think that may be the story they're trying to tell too. It's just like he's just kind of rediscovering, and I'll probably give it a couple more weeks. And he'll be on a streak. Like he's 1-0, so we can't get mad at that. Because I'm not gonna lie, when The Miz hit him with the skull crushing finale, I was like, bro, it better not have him lose right here.
Right.
Like,
yeah. He needs to be intimidating again. But somebody else that just has lost all intimidation factors has got to be Cesaro and Shinsuke. I don't know what the hell this whole behind the scenes tag team bully like shtick they got going where they're condescending. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I'm not here for it, man. You guys' best stuff's in the ring. This little personality grab change you're trying to do.
You know what?
I like it. I like it. I
can't really hate it because especially when Shinsuke started busting out like the little bit of Spanish that he knows.
I did like the Spanish.
It's like, oh no bueno amigo, or it's like aquí no campeón and shit. I'm like, that broken Spanish is beautiful. I fucking love it. I think the way they could go about it is Cesaro needs to be the more serious guy, and just like Shinsuke needs to be like that, like annoying guy that just gets under your skin.
Kind of like that. I could see that.
Like I don't mind. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, because I was gonna say, like, remember when he first turned heel? He's like, I know I speak Spanish. I know I speak English and shit. Like all broken. Like we know you speak English. Like he's just playing dumb. Like that's what Shinsuke should be. And inside the ring, they can still be vicious and awesome. Like I think there's potential there. I like what I'm seeing. So
I don't mind it for Cesaro either because it's kind of giving him a chance to do more. Like when he was in the bar with Sheamus, I think a lot of the charisma and the character was on Sheamus more than it was on Cesaro. So now it's kind of Cesaro's in the driver's seat in this team, and he's really kind of able to really show like who he actually is. Like if you watch him on like up down kind of acts the same way. So
yeah,
I'm with it.
For sure,
I'll take that.
Sure. I'm down.
What about Lucha House Party though being, I guess next in line for a title shot? Because that's where it's going.
I'm for it. I'm all about it. I love my Latinos. I love them being showcased a little bit more. And as you guys seen, like they're not taken seriously because they're not giving like a character or a reason for you to care, because they're always getting these really good matches put on and then deliver, especially in that elimination chamber that we're in.
Yes,
freaking bonkers. But they go ahead and have these matches and then they don't do anything with them. They don't pick up a win here, so they need to build up some momentum. I think that they're both really good wrestlers and they could be tag team champions, but currently as they're currently constructed, they're nowhere near those tag team titles. But they need to feed someone to Cesaro and Nakamura.
See, it's a lot of start-stop with Lucha House Party. Like I mentioned this on our show back around the time of the Elimination Chamber. Like, I really want to see them get more of a push, and then they kind of disappeared and they showed back up kind of early in the pandemic Performance Center shows, and then they disappeared again. So hopefully we can get some consistency here. Now that we had they were on the show last week in the Fatal 4-Way. Grand Metalik had a terrific showing against the star of SmackDown. So long term, it's looking good for him. Hopefully they keep it up.
Tommy Streamer saying that Lucha House Party will be the placeholder for New Day, trio of a comedy act. I don't know. Are they a trio anymore?
I don't know what's going on.
What are they missing, man? Like,
maybe he's one of those guys that decided I'm going to stay back and sit at home. The one thing I will say, and this is just me just being nitpicky, so you know how they do like the little graphics at like the start of everybody's entrance? Yeah. I don't like that they do piñatas for Lucha House Party. Like that's just me nitpicking. Like I don't like,
think that's nitpicking.
I don't like the piñatas. I think it's you could do like the little like maracas or matracas or whatever they use. Like that's cool. It's whatever. But like piñata Mexican, it's like please don't do that. Don't go there. But other than that, I'm all for this feud, man. It's okay. It'll be like a quick one-time match, and we'll enjoy it. It'll be very, very good, and we'll move on from here.
Yeah. Somebody who's trying to get the fans to move on is WWE, as they gave us their Naomi apology, essentially just giving us the same exact match that started the hashtag Naomi deserves better. They give us the same match against Lacey Evans, except Naomi now ducks the women's right and gets a slide-up victory. So, yeah, giant push for Naomi, right?
I mean, who else is lined up to face Bayley for that SmackDown Women's title if it's not Naomi?
I was being sarcastic. Like,
but yeah, here's my
felt like
issue.
an apology, but it was still like a garbage match. They were given like 2 minutes, and it was just like, oh, we just undid history. Naomi actually ducked the women's right and got a sliding victory. You know what I mean? Like, it was
like, I was wondering, are they allergic to giving these two women like more than 2-3 minutes to work during this feud? Like, with the karaoke contest, I was one of the probably 3 people in the whole world that enjoyed it, and I thought that was people start feuds over silly shit all the time. Like Booker T and Edge had a WrestleMania match over a shampoo commercial. You know what I'm saying? So like, as long as they feuding, like it's wrestling, it's a soap opera. So no matter what reason they're feuding, and so like that karaoke contest, I thought it was entertaining. It did it, did its purpose. It started a feud. So like,
DC from the Young Kings Wrestling Podcast says the karaoke was entertaining
to me, at least. Like, I mean, if it wasn't entertaining to y'all, that's on y'all. Like,
look, I didn't watch it live, so I can't really speak on it myself.
You wanted it to end the second it began.
But you know what? I've loved some very cringy shit. I was very into the Bobby Lashley Lana stuff. Like Bobby Lashley Lana when it first started, that shit was funny, and then they just took a nosedive. So
but the wedding was entertaining. So like,
the wedding was freaking hilarious. I fucking love that shit.
But like my issue is this: the karaoke contest was longer than the matches these two have had. So like, I don't even care about this feud at this point. Like, they're probably, and the thing is like, Lacey Evans, man, like they really kind of dropped the ball on her a little bit. I think they might have just pushed her too soon last year.
Oh, they're coming for you now, TC.
At this point, I don't really care for her, and I used to like her. Like, I used to like her, but since she's been on SmackDown, I can really care less.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the chat, bro. They're just now getting. You said you were for the karaoke segment. Everyone's like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
I loved it. I don't care. I like trash shit a lot.
No, it's all good, man. Hey, listen, that I've always said about wrestling, man, is we're allowed to like what we like. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. Yeah, I ain't gonna trash like you because of your opinion. I am gonna try and get people out to trash you though. Oh man, yeah. Who cares about the feud? Who cares? I say make them a tag team now. Make them a best of 7. Make them a tag team. I don't care.
Okay, you're trying to make
taking the bar route.
The bar,
okay.
the bar route. Create the bar again.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit. Let's go back. Let's go back to like one of the cooler things that happened tonight. So backstage, we get this multi-part segment, right? And a return for a segment that we thought was finished. Mandy Rose books a reservation for her and Otis to go on a date. They're going to eat barbecue. She's making sexual innuendos about dessert. It's all going over Otis's head. He's just happy to hear about the food. And to be fair, the food did sound really good. I'm not going to lie, man. They split up. Mandy Rose wants to go get ready. You see Sonya Deville lurking in the back. They cut to commercial. We come back. Mandy is getting ready, and she is viciously attacked by, essentially at this point, her stalker, Sonya Deville, who then proceeds to cut Mandy Rose's hair. And all I could think about at this point was like Molly Holly.
Yeah,
Mandy
Molly
and
Victoria.
Molly Holly cut.
She tried to shave her too.
Tried to shave her, dude. I like when the first ref came in. She like tried to like stab him with the clippers.
Yeah.
Yo,
I love this because like my thing is like I'm on Sonya's side with this one. Like she overheard Mandy Rose, not taking social distancing, not taking it seriously, talking about she's gonna go out to restaurants and whatnot, and she had to take matters into her own hands.
Doing a public service.
Yeah,
Public service.
I'm on Sonya's side.
No, they're saying Sonya is a less slutty Mickey James from 06.
Sexual.
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 Yeah,
because
it's centered on my
Mickey
end.
James' motives are more understandable. I mean, Sonya Deville's motives are more understandable.
Yeah, I mean,
Mickey James is just crazy.
did you guys notice though? The biggest thing about the segment was the glitch.
Yes, yes, yes. I was about to bring that up
again.
Is it bad though?
The first one, I thought it was my feed. Like I was like, oh,
yeah, me too. I thought it was like
it happened like
shit like 3
2 more
times
times
to let you know the hacker glitch. The hacker's still a thing.
I'm glad because I was kind of disappointed because I thought they dropped it. Ali debuted on Raw, and that was the guy that was rumored to be it. Hopefully,
it's gonna be Hornswoggle, man. It's gonna be
that's
Hornswoggle.
That's all I was about to say. Hope it's not like the GM.
Yeah,
not even the GM. Like Hornswoggle, he was Vince McMahon's son. It was supposed to be somebody else. It was
supposed to be Mr. Kennedy.
It did. The GM was disappointing. Like they didn't even have to do that because at that point nobody gave a shit about the anonymous GM anyway. It was just like.
No, that was hot garbage.
Hopefully they don't drop the ball with this one. If it's not Ali, it could be somebody else that we don't see coming.
So I guess my question is, because I haven't been watching SmackDown consistently, it's been like 1 week and 1 week out. I'm surprised that Sonya and Mandy are even still a thing currently. Because like initially when I saw this, like I didn't give a fuck about it. I didn't care because it's like, why are we still doing this?
Mandy's
I thought this
been
was
trying. That's the story though. Mandy has been trying to move on. Like every week she's coming out and has nothing to do with Sonya, and just Sonya keeps turning up.
Okay.
I don't think it helps that like they weren't on TV either.
Huh?
Yeah, they haven't been on TV. Though.
Yeah, I don't know if they tested positive and they just took them off of TV because they just got taken off with no explanation. So all of them too, like Sonya, Mandy, and Otis all got taken off with no explanation and then just showed back up again. So,
so
that's probably what happened.
Who's the hacker?
I don't know. If it's not Ali,
who's on SmackDown?
Bob,
that's my question.
It's Rusev.
Xavier Woods.
Xavier.
I would want it to be.
That takes him away from his New Day shit. You essentially have to
unless
break up
the New Day become hackers. Like while Big E's making his push, they hack the system to give Big E the push towards the title.
It's just...
That's how you do that. Xavier Woods is working behind the scenes to push Big E into the title picture. That's the next step. That's the real plan here, man.
Yo, we got Mojo Rawley. It's the hacker.
Tripping.
Gronkowski.
That's tough. That's no.
Gilbert.
Hey, he says he wants one more match.
Okay, no, but for real though, let me look at SmackDown's roster and I'll give you a name of who I think.
They got nobody. I've already done it. They got nobody that makes sense.
Nah, man, there's
He's not on
SmackDown.
SmackDown. Unless they're gonna get somebody from Raw or NXT.
Because here's the thing, we're limiting ourselves to I'm assuming, but we're limiting ourselves to just the women, like just the men. We're not thinking about the women's division. What if it's a woman hacker?
Yeah,
I'm considering everybody. Because like initially, like I remember people thought it was the Iconics. So I was like, it's stupid. Tucker kind of makes sense in a way.
I can't take credit for that. That's Tommy Streamer in the chat.
Okay, Tommy Streamer. Yo, by the way, Tommy Streamer.
I'll be
Dope
the
ass
hacker
fucking
shit.
name. Dope ass fucking name, by the way. I love Tommy Streamer, man. That's a great name.
All right.
Let's see.
Let me be the hacker. Cut the check, Vince.
I don't got the money for that, bro. I don't got the money.
It could be
We
Mike
can pay you
Brown.
in sticker packs, man. We can pay you in sticker packs to be the hacker. That's the best we could do.
All right, so let's talk about the main event in the final segment. This is what everybody came for. Got Nikki Cross taking on Bayley. They have a good match. once again have a very good match, but I noticed that the match ended with a fairly good amount of time left. Like, I don't know, like 5 to 7 minutes left of airtime.
Mm-hmm.
And so Bayley picks up the victory after reversing a couple roll-ups and ultimately hitting her version of the what's it called? Save me here in the chat. I can't remember.
Her version of the Dirty Deeds, almost like the original Dirty Deeds.
The Rose Plant.
Yeah,
the Rose Plant. Yeah.
Like the standing, like that forward, like head driver or something.
Yeah,
it's bad.
It looks
she
like
needs
Miz's
to
move.
No, the Miz. Are you talking about like the
skull crushing finale?
No, not even close, man.
All right.
The setups are both ugly, but I'd take the stand. I'll take the skull crushing finale over like whatever the fuck Bayley's doing. Fuck it, give me back the Bayley to belly. You know, give her the punk kick.
Oh god.
Yeah, give her the punk kick or something. I don't know.
Well, anyways, so you got Bayley and Alexa Bliss being in the ring. They pull another fast one, throwing up the graphic. But then I noticed it's like for Progressive, it's not the copyright graphic, but it looked like the copyright graphic.
Right.
And I was like, wait, there's still like 5 minutes. What's going on? And then it dawns on you. You're like, oh shit, Nikki's about to turn on Alexa.
Yeah.
And then fucking she pushes Alexa, but swerve. Nikki bounces, and then you get the Fiend's music. The lights drop, the Fiend comes out, and I fucking loved it, man. I love this whole dynamic, dude. Like, I'm so into it. And we agree it's he takes out Alexa. Like, with it, he kind of waited too long for that mandible claw. They probably told, like, we're in his ear, like, hey, look, we have, like, another 45 seconds till we go off air. Milk it. Just like...
I think that's what it was. I think they were just trying to milk it. But can I just say, I'm sorry. I couldn't get my mind out of the gutter watching this segment. I'm not going to go into details, but I'm like, I can picture the Brazzers logo being stamped on there on Twitter tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus. That's thank you, folks. That's where my number 2 guy, his head goes. And this is coming from the same man who says, I have the sense of humor of a 10-year-old. All right, now.
I feel like we both have our laughs when we go into our 10-year-old humor mode, man. But I'm sorry.
We got to admit, though, like, okay, all joking aside, we have to admit this is really fucking cool because that's the bargaining chip for Braun right there. Mm-hmm. He's using Braun's infatuation with Alexa Bliss, which was touched upon in that swamp match, which also is awesome. Long-term booking. You set up that wasn't just a throwaway segment. It's playing part into future story. I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it. What about you, TC?
Man, all right. So I looked at the time when the match ended. I was like, how much time we got left? Because like me, I'm thinking after Monday, I'm expecting Asuka to show up and like cost Bayley or like do something like that. Or because here's my biggest beef with this match was that, and maybe it's a long-term progression, but I had to go do the math because I've noticed a trend over the last, few weeks or so that Nikki Cross loses a lot.
She does.
In the last 8 weeks alone, Nikki Cross is 2-9 in matches across Raw and SmackDown. And 8 of those have come to either Sasha and or Bayley. And that didn't sit right with me because, like, why is she losing so many times? It's not making her look good, but maybe that's the long game because we saw her snap. And I'm like, if she loses, she's going to turn on Alexa. Mm-hmm. And she just shoved her and walked away. So I'm like, that's it.
Yeah,
I think,
and then the lights go down.
Yeah, I was almost a little disappointed. Like, really, that's the whole snap. That's the only thing she did, just shove Alexa down. Alexa looked like she barely sold it. She kind of like sold it like a little kid that gets pushed onto the couch or something, and didn't really like sell the impact of it. I was so disappointed until the Fiend came out.
And we get the Fiend, and I'm like, oh shit. And I love how they built up the tension before he just like slaps the mandible claw on, and I'm like, yo, they did this. Like, I jumped out of my chair and everything, which I think is also interesting because this might possibly be how they end the partnership between Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. And
I think it's long overdue.
just like how it started, Alexa on her ass. Like, that's how it started, literally. Like, fell in her ass in some coffee and they ended up teaming up. And now, you know, but
Wow.
Yo, that's a good memory, TC.
Good.
I forgot about that myself.
Yeah, but like, here's what I'm thinking they're gonna do. Whereas, you know, as we had to call back to Team Little Big during the Swamp Fight, is Alexa gonna be like the new Sister Abigail, and you know, are we gonna get like a stable between Bray and Alexa? Because I'm not gonna lie, I would like to see. This is what I said I was gonna bring up with Jeff Hardy, maybe be like Willow and join into, you know, whatever stable that the Fiend and Bray Wyatt has going on, because he needs some sort of direction other than being a recovering alcoholic.
Right.
See, the standing streamer got to it just before I could say it. Everybody the Fiend gets to changes. They all change. This would be Alexa Bliss. This would be the time for her gimmick change, which is long overdue. I mean,
yeah.
I bet she's
Can't be the mean girl forever.
Yeah. My quick question before we get into that. My quick question, kayfabe wise, what the fuck did Nikki do? Nikki saw those lights and said, "Hell no," or Nikki at this point was just like, "No,
because she was already backstage."
Yeah, she stormed away.
She stormed away. She was through that curtain. The ring is like 18 miles away from you. At that point, you can't get back out there.
I'm pretty sure she was like, kayfabe-wise, she was so in her head about losing once again, like TC was mentioning. She was so distraught, she just dipped and bounced. That they're probably going to address this next week. That she feels bad that she let her friend down because of her own like selfishness. But I guess my question, and yes, like Alexa, she just like ran into the Fiend, and everybody that the Fiend touches, you know, they change or whatever. But if you remember when he was feuding with the Miz, yeah, that was just Bray Wyatt and stuff. But what if it's just him targeting people that Braun Strowman care about, not necessarily just changing Alexa? Because I'm not sure which one it could be.
We'll find out. It's going to be both. I think it's initially he's holding her hostage, and then Swerve, she changes and goes over to the dark side. I think you have your cake and eat it too in this one.
But in that case, you drop the entire like Nikki Cross, like Alexa Bliss feud just for the sake
TC
of
already
using
called it. It's already run its course. It's time to.
No, but I think they still might do like heel Nikki versus babyface Alexa. But if you do that, you're just using Alexa as a pawn. And like as a story tool in the Fiend versus Braun Strowman match. You know, that's my whole thing.
I think Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss are going to exist on different planes of existence now. You know, that Firefly Funhouse isn't in the Performance Center. That's on a whole different dimension, you know. And I think Alexa Bliss is no longer in the PC. She's wherever that Firefly Funhouse is kept.
So then
I reckon we don't see Alexa Bliss again until SummerSlam.
Oh. Okay.
So does that mean that she's just chilling in the Funhouse with John Cena this whole time? So now he's
John Cena and Braun.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're chilling. They're out over there having a tea party with with the pig and everybody else. Rambling Rabbit.
Mercy
the Buzzard. And
you guys think John Cena in the Funhouse is invisible? Because you can't see him?
I don't know, man. That'd be an interesting concept. I love to see like a 60 minute piece or whatever it was called, like one of those like documentaries where they actually like live it in kayfabe. I was like, John, how was your experience living in the Funhouse so long? And he's just so distraught. That's something I actually want to see, kind of like when they did the whole Bear documentary with Daniel Bryan. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but that's one thing I really want to see. Like in some universe, somebody makes a documentary about John Cena's life in the Funhouse since WrestleMania.
It's good. But that was the show. Thank you guys for joining us. TC, thank you for joining us, man. I'm glad to have you on like always. Make sure you guys remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Maybe go ahead, head over to that patreon.com and support the show. We would greatly appreciate it here. Of course, we're working really hard. And Like always, you guys, until the next time, you guys have a good one. One of these days, someone will say bye after me. I'm telling you.
I mean, usually I'm the one that says
to say bye to the audience.
Usually I just do this. Usually I just do like the peace sign. I'm like, yo, or like wave them off and stuff. Honestly, that's usually my view. That's usually what I do. It's because I'm usually when I'm doing the show, I'm the one like, all right, guys, that's the show, and then I'm